Good evening. With schools closed for the July-August timeout period, the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, in conjunction with the National Sports Commission, commenced the annual Teach Them Young swimming program on Monday at the Colgrain Swimming Pool on Camp Street. The program started with 125 children ages 6 to 16 years who will undergo 6 weeks of technical drills in the areas of breathing control, kicking, arm movement, and formation of strokes, along with other techniques. Minister of Sports Dr. Frank Anthony launched the program and encouraged the participants to aspire to swim at the highest level, as the training is also geared to spot talent at the incubator stage to develop the sport and sustain that development. In football, defending Region 1 zone champions Santa Rosa commanded an easy 8-2 drubbing of Wauwna Secondary yesterday at the Kumaka Recreational Ground when action in the Digicel Schools tournament continued. It was their second game and equal wins, with a showcase of talent and skills by the strikers and midfielders, ably supported by the defenders and the custodian between the uprights. Control, excellent passes and playmake were the hallmark of the win, as the visiting Wauwna struggled to hold on, netting 2 goals of their own in the process. They also conceded an own goal to swell the champions' lead. Santa Rosa's victory was inspired by Keith De Silva, a hat-trick, supported by Terence Chappell, Seth Ribere, Alonzo Abrams, and Brendan Phillips with 1 each. Michael Henry and Lloyd Solomon netted for Wauwna. The defending regional champions came up against arch-rivals Port Kaituma today. The winners will face Region 5 champions Bush Lot on Monday in Region 1. And at the BV ground today, the defending East Coast champions Annandale Secondary were dethroned by BV Secondary 4-0. Annandale were shut out completely from the game through smart teamwork from BV. The scorers were Paul Kingston in the 9th and 33rd minutes, Darrell Jones in the 41st, and Kurt Abrams in the 63rd minute. So BV Secondary are the new East Coast Zone champions. A match in the Georgetown Zone will be played tomorrow, again at the BV ground. Luis Felipe Scolari has resigned as coach of Brazil, the National Football Federation announced yesterday. The 65-year-old stood down as the FIFA World Cup hosts could only finish 4th, having been trashed in their semi-final game 7-1 by Germany, who went on to lift the trophy in Rio de Janeiro. The Brazilians were also beaten 3-0 by the Netherlands on Saturday in the third-place playoff. The decision was formally announced on the Brazilian Football Confederation website following a meeting between Scolari and President Jose Maria Marin. All parties agreed a fresh approach is needed to rebuild Brazilian football, with Scolari's current contract, which expired at the end of the World Cup, not to be renewed. And finally, cricket. Mahela Jayawardene will retire from Test cricket at the conclusion of the series against Pakistan in August, Sri Lanka Cricket Board has announced. However, the prolific batting star will continue to be available for one-day internationals, having already retired from T20 internationals in April this year. Jayawardene, 37, has been the cornerstone of Sri Lanka's batting order since his debut against India in 1997 and has amassed 11,492 test runs in his career. He played 145 tests and, if fit and selected, will finish on 149 in his last game, which begins August 14. Jayawardene has scored 33 hundreds and 48 50s in 244 innings. For HGP Sport, Basil Bradshaw.